Warning: this podcast contains material that may be too spooky for younger audiences, and some material that may be too absurd for older audiences. If you're among the living, we've been waiting for you. We are the Hapless Heroes.
Sorry you're such a loser. I was hungry.
Hello and welcome to the Hapless Heroes Spooktacular Special 2021. My name is Phil, and I hopefully will spook you tonight, hopefully thrill you with our illustrious cast of characters. And we're going to do something a little bit different. As you know, when we have people who can't make it to an episode, we try to spin off and oftentimes create new characters, interns. We've got all kinds of people now. And what I'm going to try to do tonight is tie some of those groups together and hopefully fill in some of the blanks as far as what is happening around the planet at the same time as our heroes. So we are going to first start by introducing our cast. And to my left, we have Zach. Who are you playing?
I'm playing Liger Silver Slaughter. I can eat a whole turkey in one bite.
He sure can. He sure can. And to his left, we have John. Who are you playing tonight?
I'll be back as Hondo, and I'm almost out of booze.
Hondo the Immortal?
Immortal, yep, merciless.
Okay, we shall see. To his left, we have Francesco. Who are you going to play?
I'm back as Gobwinkler Greasy Bum.
To his left, Dave.
Hello, I'm Sardellum Rook, and I appear to still be a potted plant.
And to round out our slightly smaller party, we have a brand new character played by Nicole.
Shh! Tiny narrator will give away Andrew the Orc Assassin's hiding spot.
Excellent. So what we
Amazingly
have here,
self-aware.
we have 3 monsters and 2 characters that you may remember from our Shadowfell arc. And
I think Hondo can sometimes be classified as a monster as well. So
Yeah,
not wrong.
he jump kicked. What is he? He like drop
Oh,
kicked
that
an
old
elderly
lady.
woman. Yeah,
That's just
that was
one
maybe
of the
one of
many.
the funniest things that happened on the podcast in general.
Well, for those listeners out there who want to check back, those are episodes 145 through 152, where we introduced a couple of players. And actually, the group there from the Shadowfell ended up walking through a portal and ending up in a workshop cave that turned out was on a mountainside in the Crucible lands. The Ashen Wastes, where a swirling maelstrom of purple energy and dark magic was clouding the sky. Everything was kind of a burnt umber, desolate wasteland kind of scenescape. And yes, indeed, through our introduction, you heard that Sir Dellum Rook, a warlock of the Raven Queen.
I would consider myself more of a knight, but sure, whatever floats your boat, call me what you will.
Yes, I am a member of the Obsidian Order, if I'm not mistaken. had accidentally turned himself into a potted plant. One who could still talk and still gesture with its limbs or leaves, but in all other respects was immobilized and requested fertilization.
Not that kind, you perverts.
We did end with Hondo dropping trow, didn't we? I can't quite remember, but that seems in character.
We've had numerous untold stories since that day, and if I'm being perfectly honest, at least 3 out of 5 include you dropping trow, so I don't really feel like it's all that special anymore.
Also, was Obsidian Order purposeful Deep Space Nine reference, or is that just...
No, I think it was actually a older reference to something else that would have only.
Oh,
mattered
did Deep
to me.
Space Nine reference something?
No. So like, I knew some people in high school, and we, as kids in high school do, they think they're way funnier than they really are. And at some point, the group we were with started referring to ourselves as the Absurdian Order.
Amazing.
Well,
Speaking of absurd,
I wish I knew you in high school, Dave.
No, you don't. I didn't even want to know.
We would have been
school.
really good friends if we knew each other in high school. I'm pretty positive.
well, we're all friends now, and isn't that really what matters?
Yes.
No, now we're enemies, is what I'm saying. Like me and Dave.
Now,
We couldn't fix it.
now you're dead. You're dead meat. So Hondo and Sir Dellum were not alone in this workshop. They had 2 other comrades with them, a halfling rogue, Rovin Tossbottom, and a tiefling cleric named Malek. And with not much else than some rubble and random debris in this workshop, the portal had been closed behind you. You are now faced with no booze and no food. Malek,
We were looking into how to make cupcakes or brownies out of the undead. I think.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you
yes,
for
that's
pointing that
right.
out, because one of your acquisitions from your escapade in the Shadowfell was a what was it?
Necronomnomicon? Or
Nibblenomicon, or as I like to call it, the Necronomnomnom. And you were reading these evil necromantic recipes, trying to figure out how to make zombie cupcakes.
Wait, can we just go back? Can we now henceforth refer to it as the Necronomnomicon?
I think it goes by many names. Depends on who you ask.
Yeah, true.
Its lore is deep. So,
And rich and flavorful.
yes. Oh, yes.
It's
Unctuous,
a cookbook.
some
Don't
might
make
say.
it more than it is.
Even glancing out the mouth of this cave, you see that most of the flats of this ashen wasteland is saturated with undead. Even amongst the thick clusters of zombies and titans and skeletons, there are some winged creatures as well that are just kind of like surveying and circling as they are making their way west, closer to Scrag and the continuation of the forces that are happening there. Suddenly, as you're in this cave, you're with Sir Dellenbrook, there's a rumbling. And it feels as if the entire mountainside is starting to tremble. Somewhere in the back of this cave, you hear a bunch of cracking as it splits open and a noxious gas is starting to leak out from the back of this cave. It's burning. It's seething with just soot, like breathing in coal, except it burns. What is Hondo doing? Rovin and Malek had gone out in search of food, so they left about an hour ago.
It's just Hondo in the plant right now.
Right. I'm trying to make sure that he doesn't have any kind of I don't think he has any kind of resistances to poison or anything like that.
Can I ask a question
So-
really quick?
Yeah.
Now the plant. Do we have? Can we get like more of a description on like its demeanor and like appearance? Does it have like googly eyes? Does it like just like rattle a little bit when it talks?
I find I have to do a lot of gesturing with my fronds to get anyone to
Okay, so it's more of a fern.
understand.
I feel like he looks like one of those the Mario Piranha plants. That's how I kind of picture him.
Oh, I picture him as
Oh,
kind of
like
like a
Audrey
potted
too.
daisy. Yeah, I picture like a potted daisy.
Oh,
I was
sure.
picturing a succulent, so yeah, I think we need an actual description because I was picturing like 3 inches tall, including the pod.
Well, Fran,
I was
DM.
imagining just like a super low budget thing that just kind of like shakes a little bit when he talks.
Yeah. No, we're talking a dashboard daisy with a little
okay.
solar.
There we go.
Just-
I think this is the way.
Yeah, it's gonna be something like that. I want to say the pot's probably about 6 inches across. Maybe 8 inches a plant. Something that's substantial enough where it's not just a 3-inch succulent sitting on a desk. Because
I would say you
doesn't
could
feel
probably
quite right, but it doesn't need to be big either.
no, you could be handled with one hand.
Oh, yeah.
probably in the 6 or 8 inch pot, but not too big. But
Yeah.
Hondo,
will
Okay.
start coughing and and he'll grab the potted plant and leave the cave.
okay, you get to
and-
the opening of the cave. You don't see Rovin or Malek, but what you do see is the top of this mountain explode, and cascading rock and dust comes flying down the mountain, and a big burst of molten lava bursts through the top of this mountain. Now,
It's a volcano.
it's not a straight slope down. It's rather craggy and rocky. So there are these large spire-like rock formations in periodic locations down this mountainside. But other than that, it's I wouldn't call it rough terrain unless you are dashing full sprint down this thing. Then yeah, you could probably lose your footing on this loose rock.
No, I think that Hondo would just kind of make like big bounding steps and jump from spot to spot if he could.
Yeah, he's more of a power walker.
Right.
The closest substantial spire formation stands about 40 feet above the slope, and it's 150 feet away from you. So as you're making your way towards down the bottom, do you want to go on top of this thing or continue down?
Can he do a quick like perception or something to see if there is any? Because he knows that this is kind of like there's been a lot of zombies around and stuff like that. So
You're quite a bit up on this mountain. I would say it's like a quarter mile down to the flats where you see most of the horde is in the center of the flat and kind of making its way across. So like Minas Tirith, if you're
Yeah.
looking out across those flats, they're at least a quarter mile, maybe half mile away from you.
okay. And this is just kind of like another spire that I could potentially hope would be safe from the explosions and the volcano activity.
Just as you turn to survey and you look back up at the top, there is a second explosion. And it's maybe half the distance between you and the actual peak of the summit, as more lava comes splashing out of this second, and the whole top is now starting to crumble, and you see massive sections of rock just giving way.
Oh,
Okay.
that's not good.
Yeah, we're trying to move down and away as fast as we can.
Okay. I would say both of you. Which one has the higher passive perception? I will let Dave and John.
Wait, well, who?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hondo and Sir Dellenbrook. Which of
I
you
ha-
has the higher passive?
I have a 15.
Same.
Okay. Both of you hear something.
Can a plant hear? I guess it can if you hear.
I'm allowing Dave all of his faculties. If he can talk
Yeah.
without a pair of lungs, he should be able to hear
Good
without
point.
ears.
Good point. Yeah.
You hear something that
But
starts off
can
like
he
a whistle.
love?
Without a heart.
It starts off as like a very high-pitched whistle, but it's faint. And then you hear it's not one pitch, it's several that are harmonizing. And 3 dark specks start to descend from the clouds above you. And they start getting closer, and you see some movement. Almost these figures are on something, and there's fabric like flowing behind them.
Wait, they're on something. Like they're on something, or just like on something?
Well, you don't
On
know.
top of something.
They are riding.
Yeah. I knew I had to be an ass.
Well, they might be on something. From here, you can't tell. Until they seem to zig and zag and then beeline directly towards you. And you see them, as they get closer, to be 3 humanoid figures. One's rather
Humanoid figures.
One's rather rotund, one is rather thin, and the other one has a big purple hat. And you see 3 hags riding broomsticks swirl over your head and land on a decent-sized boulder, big enough, by a 15-foot diameter chunk of rock.
Sisters, we've made it.
Where's my recipes? Oh, yes. Well, there's 2 of them. Oh, this will be great. And you see the one hag, big wart on her nose, and a big purple pointed cap. You see one sister, rather skinny, with straight blonde hair, very fair skin, and purple eyes. And then you see the third one, the rotund one, basically shrouded in black lace. And you can see her hands are shriveled in gray, and a veil covering her face as well. And they address you.
Dear travelers, you seem to be in a bit of trouble. We are the Triag, agents of the Troll King of Scrag. We believe you may need some help from us.
Oh, I don't think they're going to be too much trouble, but the lava might.
Hondo is kind of like he has his sword in the one hand. I think that my vicious greatsword is a 2-handed weapon though. So I have a potted plant and a gigantic sword in the other, and he's just kind of like looking at them oddly. Hondo the Immortal needs no help, even though the volcano is exploding to
Right,
his
as
right.
like another explosion happens behind you, right?
And he like ducks and like.
I can assure you we mean no harm.
Oh no, I'd never touch a single petal.
We have tracked you. I believe you have our book.
Hondo looks at the Necronomicon and also remembers that in his pocket he has some very, very not good cupcakes. Are you talking about this? It's all the food is foul from it.
Well, of course it is. We designed it that way. Besides holding some of our family trade recipes, we designed this book to be a tracing agent of evil. For you see, we might have curious agendas. But we are not evil. We were hoping that whoever had this book may give us some insight as how to push back these forces. I see now it is in your hands. How did you come by this?
How do you say we stole it off a dead guy without really saying we stole it off a dead guy?
I mean, Hondo would just be like, I killed a man for it, of course.
Well, you must be very strong. I am willing to make you a deal. We can take you and your leafy friend out of this place.
But you must give me my recipes. Yeah, and seriously, these ladies do not know how to cook, okay? They could use all the help they can get.
I'll give you the book if you give me at least 3 bottles of booze.
Why don't you hop on my broom? I've got a drink right here. And she pulls out a flask. It's not a alcohol flask. It's like a potion flask.
Okay. Hondo kind of like stumbles over really quick, puts his sword back in the scabbard, pops the cork off of it, sniffs it, gives it the old sniff test.
It smells sweet, but then it has that back end where you can tell there's some alcohol to this. There's an intoxicant agent in this.
The second the alcohol is noticed, he's drinking it.
Excellent.
Give the book to my sister.
Yes.
He
And
has
the plant as well.
he has the booze like in one hand. He throws the plant, the potted plant that is Sir Dellum Rook, to the.
Excuse me.
Throws it.
Roll dexterity.
Wait, which one?
The one who can actually.
He threw. Well, I guess throwing is strength, right?
No, it's
It's
It could
dexterity.
be either. It
Okay.
could be either.
Yeah.
Wait, if he's doing it like a shot.
Is this
put.
yeet or Kobe?
It's a lob, right? A general lob. You don't have to be very strong for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Just kind of a toss. And I rolled a 14 for that.
Okay, so at least it's in the ballpark. This old lady, this old hag covered in black lace shroud is instinctively, with her blind sight, snatches the pot with one hand, snatches the book with the other hand.
Yeah, and Hondo does this all while like chugging whatever the other hag gave him.
Come, sisters. We can talk more. Airborne.
And you start circling up above, and indeed you see this entire mountain, what was the peak, is crumbled away now, and tons of lava is starting to explode out of it. And even off towards the horizon, you start to see other mountaintops also exploding with this lava. The entire area is seismic, and the maelstrom that is in the center of everything is just crackling with lightning and this purple energy. And just as you're taking up, you hear somebody, and you turn around off the broom as the intoxicant starts to swirl through your head, and you see 2 figures, a halfling and a tiefling, running down the side of this mountain, fists in the air, shouting something at you, but you can't quite make it out. And the hag that you're sitting with, Gladys, she turns to you and says, "How are you feeling?" Roll me a constitution check.
Okay, now, because Hondo is supposed to be permanently drunk, I wasn't sure how we really played that.
This doesn't sound like it's just alcohol.
Right. Okay, hold on, let me get to my thing. It's a 15, I think. I can't tell what it actually ended up being, because I can't go back and forth. Yep, 15.
That's pretty good. But you turn to look at Gladys, and her eyes seem to sparkle. And she says, I've been working on my filters for quite some time. I do hope you're enjoying it. And you are in love with this hag.
Yeah.
She's got a pretty face.
It's a love potion.
This is a filter of love.
Hondo hucks the empty flask like behind him and starts rifling through her stuff for another one.
Oh, please, don't worry. We have plenty of time. This only lasts for an hour. Why don't you enjoy it while you can? And you regard her as your true love while you are charmed for this hour. So she starts making out with you. She just grabs you and she's just sucking face while the three of you in formation. And Griselda is with Sir Dellenbrook. And she says, "What is your name?"
I'm Sir Dellenbrook of the Obsidian Order, Knight of the Raven Queen, and currently a Petunia.
You sound wise for a plant. You must have strong roots.
Wise for a plant. Probably average for a human. Foolish for what I really am. Well, it's all relative, I suppose.
Well, I will be able to change you back to your human state. But I cannot do it right now. Things are too dangerous in this place. Only things that are imbued with magic retain their initial state. Casting new spells while in this space is going to create catastrophic randomness. Normally that's my thing. But it's a little of an inopportune moment, you see.
Normally I would be in a little more of a hurry to change back, but I can understand the need for discretion. I've dealt with this lack of agency for a while. I suppose another few hours to days can't really hurt. I can take the long view on things.
That is a relief. Plus, I don't think my conversation has ever been so stimulating before.
Oh no.
Yep.
That's the problem. You've been talking to young people too much.
I should talk to more plants.
Who are people?
Sisters, it's going to be quite a flight. Better put on your goggles.
And you see each of them have like these sort of, old-timey fighter pilot, glass lens goggles.
Of course they do.
And
Yes.
you are whisking off into the sky, headed west past the mountain range to reconvene with the Troll King of Scrag.
And we just left Toss Bottom.
Yeah, they were yelling something at you. You couldn't quite make it out. But the chaos that is the Crucible Lands slowly fading behind you as smoke and sort of a cloudiness, a haziness is the horizon in front of you as the sun is slowly setting. It gets darker and darker. And that's where we are going to switch scenes to our other party. The Monster Party, for those who need to listen, they follow episode 81. Quite a just raucous event led by John as the DM. What a wonderful time. We're very happy to revisit these characters. They were tasked.
It was the Halloween special that ended up going until Christmas.
Right, there was like 6 full episodes of that, wasn't there?
I think it was 8 actually.
It was
my
supposed to be 2. It was supposed to be 2, but I.
So I am.
We got a little
If
carried
we
away.
had to go back and do it again, we would do it all over again.
Yeah, no, those episodes are amazing.
I'd make it 16.
I am honored now to pick up exactly where they left off. The Monster Party was tasked with raiding a human caravan to secure food stores for the growing Troll King forces, which were now having to ally in order to push back the undead that was,
Yeah, so they essentially
encroaching
allied
on
with
their
the
lands.
humans. Like the banners were
Um,
raised, and now humans and monstrous races are fighting together for the first time in
Well,
ages.
yes, you were successful with your food store robbery. And you had reconvened with General Stonehoof, the orc commander of the monster race forces. And just as you had made contact with them, the humans, elves, dwarves, all of the other allied races of the region joined you as thousands upon thousands of undead had been pouring into what is known as Wolf's Head. Further south than Scrag. Scrag had been completely deserted, and you found yourself right at the edge of this roaring battle that is about to take place. General Stonehoof addressed you. We must move south. Gather our forces. We cannot fight here. That's my best John impression.
I was impersonating what's his name? Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah.
Michael Clark Duncan.
For
Yeah,
some
I was
reason, I always
impersonating him.
confuse Michael Clark Duncan and Kevin Michael Richardson. I think it's the three names.
Yeah.
So, what happened was you had encountered a little girl while you were on this this robbery mission, and you were joined by goblins, half Tom Vegan. You were joined by the Hobfather, Brando, and now you find yourself in a different party. You had encountered this little girl though, and she had with her a little mouse with a tutu on. A mouse named Gregory,
Right.
who used to belong to another party member, the young kid Biff.
Oh my god, I forgot about the mouse with the tutu. I think that's still a pinned post in our episode talk channel is the picture that Massimo put up in there. Oh my god.
So, where we last left off, half Tom Fegan attempted to steal the mouse from the little girl. And a human you were with, named Bev, also took an interest. She wanted the mouse. And the little girl was reluctant to give it up. My daddy brought this back for me after a flying box killed my Uncle Steve. Out of nowhere, Liger thrusts his hand into the bunch of them, retrieves the mouse, and shoves it down his mouth.
Yum.
god.
Chewing sounds.
That mouse was my only friend. I named him Whiskers. And you killed him.
Sorry, you're such a loser. I was hungry.
Damn you for taking him from me, you monsters.
You look pretty delicious, little girl. I'm gonna eat you next.
She starts to scream and wail. And it draws the attention of an orc in the midst. I'm not going to make any introductions, but let's just say all parties for Gobwinkler and Liger and our other player, Andrew, are within earshot. This girl is screaming. Absolutely like face beat red, arms out to the side. And you see, I mean, as things are happening, there's elves, there's dwarves, there's humans, there's hobgoblins.
There's fighting happening, right? Yeah.
And the meat of it is like a few 100 feet away. You are still sort of at the edge where the provisions were being distributed. General Stonehoof has gone off into the battle. And what do you want to say?
I was gonna say, you said this little girl is screaming
Yeah.
in terror. I remember last time when I played Gobwinkler, I had misread my character sheet, right? And I thought that the Arcano mechanical armor that he has was Arachno mechanical armor. So he's like in like a spider suit, essentially, like a metal like spider like machine thing that's like carting me around. So I'm not actually walking, like this thing is walking me around.
Like
we
Wicca
figured
Wicca Wild Wild West.
Yeah, something like that. So, so this girl's screaming in terror, and now I'm gonna come skittering in to see what the hubbub is about, because I see Liger about to eat a small child.
Wicca Wild.
As you're approaching her and the rest of this group, you see from somewhere in the fog, off above the utter sounds of battle, of clanging and thrashing and screaming, you see a swirling green energy.
Swirling green energy?
It pulses and streaks through the air. And then you see this arc as it descends, striking the little girl in front of you and knocking her back 20 feet as her body just rolls along the ground.
Oh, goodness.
You see wisps of green smoke rising off
Green
of
smoke.
rising from her motionless body. And slowly she begins to stir and stand to her feet. And she turns to you. The girl's eyes are glowing green. They burst into flames.
Green flames.
That's the one. She continues to scream as her body begins to slowly lift off of the ground. She's consumed by the flames, and her flesh begins to burn away into cinders, leaving only a rotted skeletal form. And then the surrounding humans and creatures stop in awe. Their eyes begin to glow green, and their skin begins to shrivel into their faces. She floats above the ground in front of you, and it begins to quake and tremble all around, her body twitching and convulsing. And a chasm starts to split on the upper side of the mountain, circumventing all the way around the girl and all the way around behind you. You find yourselves in roughly 120 feet by 120 feet as the chasm crack begins to split, and you see humanoids and goblins falling into this massive crack as it just keeps widening and getting deeper and deeper.
I was gonna say, Zach, don't do it. I see you smiling as soon as you said that they were falling into the crack. Don't do it.
I mean, the joke has already been made. People are falling into a massive crack that's being spread wider and wider and wider.
It's a ring around your Rosie. So, at this point, you hear the
There!
swooping down are the two hags, and Griselda pulls her book out and caresses the plant as now Sir Dellum Rook begins to sprout armor and limbs and a head, and the leaves just kind of decay and fall off of you. The potted bottom just cracks and breaks off of you. Hondo, you are slightly delirious, but you have regained your senses after making out with this hag for about 3 hours.
Whoa,
The potion is only for an hour. He just made out with it for the extra 2.
I mean, there wasn't much else to do on the flight.
And she did supply you with another one, so you now have a filter of love.
I'm not sure if she supplied it or he just found it and drank it.
I mean, you're on a broom. It'd be kind of hard just to
Yeah.
root around in her bag without her knowing it. Well, she's...
Well, yeah, that's what he was doing. I doubt she cared. from the general vibe you was putting out there.
So the two of you are deposited as this girl is now like turning to look at the humanoids surrounding her. There's about 6 of them who are left in front of you. The other ones had fallen into the crack, as well as a lot of the soldiers who are in the surrounding areas. The 3 hags then reconnect above and head off straight into the fog above the battle. And
But we're like stranded on like some like 120 foot like almost like crag that is now like lifting out of the ground. Is it like lifting out or is it just separating?
the soil that you're
Does it
on,
lift and separate.
the soil that you're on has been relatively untouched. It's everything surrounding this area, surrounding the girl. And I have a little surprise for you guys. Let's roll.
You have a
Let's roll
surprise.
initiative.
You're a bastard man.
Bastard.
And this is the surprise. We're gonna go digital analog.
Oh, nice. All right, what does Bill have in store here? What's going on? Oh, great. We got a visual.
Oh my goodness.
We have a
Right.
visual. Amazing.
Hold on, I'm gonna focus Phil's
Phil,
screen.
I love you.
Yep.
For the audience, Phil has laid out minis on his web camera, and I'm going to take a picture of this now and put it in our Discord.
This is an experiment. I could do this in theater of the mind, but I thought this might be fun. You've got
Yeah, let's test it.
rubble, a wagon, logs, a big log. These are trees, rather small trees, but they might offer a little bit of cover. And then you've got rocks.
So just to be
Alright,
clear,
so we
this is like the dark ring at the bottom
Yes.
of the chasm that's opened.
Well,
Now is the
everything
chasm
around you
continuing
is-
to spread?
Everything, yes, around the outside of this perimeter has all fallen away.
Oh, okay.
We are on the undisturbed
like-
piece of land.
This is like a plug in the middle of this deep chasm.
A
Seems
massive.
like it's
plug.
more like everything around us, has fallen away, and now we are the plug. We are on the plug.
All right.
You're in the center of the button. So, the enemy rolled 15 plus 5 is the 20.
Oh shoot!
So, enemy goes first. So, on one side of this platform, if you want to call it, it's 120 by 120 roughly. So, a big enough space to encompass a few trees, several large rocks, a wagon that had just been unloaded, next to some rubble, various tree limbs on the ground, but typically sloped ever so slightly. It's the bottom side of a mountain ridge, almost into like what would be the valley type area. Beyond this 120 feet is the massive gap. It's a huge chasm that is breaking apart all around you, creating just this platform in the center. Off further downhill, you can hear the rabble of enemies fighting in the distance, and there's just multitudes of footholds and explosion sounds, and you hear the cackling of the witches as they are circling above. And through the fog, you see massive fireballs that are being lit off periodically into the hordes behind the front lines of the undead.
And what? Gotcha. And it looks like we're looking at some enemies here, though. On
Yes.
this
On this platform, there are 6 zombies that were just turned by this little girl who is now a vengeful spirit. And she is small in stature. She didn't grow at all. She just looks like a rotted skeletal form covered in tatters, and she is wreathed in green flame.
Green flame.
Yeah, we're gonna do that a lot.
Is she floating? Is she still airborne?
Right now, she's only like 2 feet off the ground.
Okay, so just levitating. Got it. Okay.
And all 6 of these zombies are starting to shamble towards you. They're still 50, 80 feet away. Some of them, they are just now moving in your direction, but they don't have a very, very fast movement speed anyways.
But it is their turn, so they're moving towards us. Okay.
And then you see this girl slowly floating towards Liger with her finger out.
Oh, Liger, you done fucked up now. You ate the mouse.
So
oh no!
you are at one edge of this disc, and now all of the enemies have pretty well clustered themselves right smack dab in the middle. And she looks at you and she goes, "I want my friend back." And I need you to roll a Constitution save at disadvantage.
Uh-oh.
At disadvantage?
Yes.
That means I rolled 2 and I wait, you rolled 2 with disadvantage, right? Okay. Alright.
You just take the lower.
Constitution save. That is 24. Eat it.
No way.
What? What you got? What you got?
You feel a regurgitation. Your stomach starts to move.
With 24 Constitution save?
You're not taking any damage. But you regurgitate a small,
Yeah.
red, bloody pulp falls out of your mouth, and it lands a few feet in front of you. And it begins to pulse. And very much Stranger Things, when all the rats exploded and conjoined into one big monster.
Rat King.
This
Yeah.
is starting to
Yeah, got it.
pulse, and with each pulse, it's growing larger and larger. It seems like the flesh is starting to split and divide and grow naturally amongst itself. It no longer has any shape resembling a mouse. It starts to grow larger and larger, the size of a dog, the size of a
This is just
tiger.
looking. This is just looking more and more delicious to Liger, Silver Slater. Right now.
You,
He's
s-
salivating.
It's like, oh, my food.
uncontrollably.
His food turned into more food.
you see
He's like, wow.
4 appendages start to extend out of this central mass, a stalk growing off from the top where the head comes out, and then bursting through the back are 2 large wings. And what it solidifies into as the nails protrude from the claws, as the teeth protrude from the mouth, and the pits where the eyes are just sink back into the skull. It looks like a bat without any skin. And it is just muscle and skeletal bat with massive claws, massive hind legs. And the ears stick out. You can see the ears still.
Is there skin on? Is there skin on the wings? Because bat wings are like mostly skin.
There
right?
is. It looks like this thing can fly.
Okay.
Does it still have the tutu on?
Nothing is left of the tutu. The tutu was devoured.
Damn it.
And this thing rolls on the ground as it gains its senses and rolls back to the little girl, where she proceeds to climb on top of it. And
Oh my
that
God.
is the enemy's turn. She is now riding on top of this bat that is, I'm trying to think something a suitable size, like a rhinoceros size. Like it's a big body with big massive wingspan, about 20 feet wide.
But it's all just like flesh and
Yeah.
muscle. And like, yeah. Gross.
And you see her pet its head. That's better. And it is now Andrew's turn. Andrew the orc. You were hiding behind some barrels or some other stuff.
I was going to say, I don't think any of us have seen Andrew the Orc yet at all.
Yep. And you just answered my question there, which was whether or not he was hidden currently. So, or whether or not I was hidden currently. So, How far away is Andrew from this little girl and her pet?
50 feet.
50 feet. Okay.
So you've got some barrels, a large rock might offer some cover, and then some logs, which might also offer some cover.
Yeah, so Andrew's gonna kind of sneak along 20 feet towards the little girl, staying hidden behind the assortment of like rocks and logs that are over there. And if I can get 20 feet closer to her in that distance, Andrew is then going to lift up his throwing star. Because he's an assassin, so he definitely has a throwing star, and this throwing star is 200 pounds and carved out of a boulder, and he's going to two-handed huck it over his head at the little girl.
Excellent. Roll the attack.
15? No, wait, sorry, I was looking at the wrong number. 16.
A 16 does not hit, but it does hit the bat. It sinks just a little bit. She's riding on top of this thing. And what's the damage on that?
That depends. Is the bat also surprised? Does that count as a sneak attack on the bat?
Would be, because it just gained consciousness.
Okay.
That's a lot of dice.
It's not that many dice. It's not like a Boris amount of dice. Oh, wait, there's another d4 that needs to be in there. Wait, that wasn't a d4.
D4.
Hang on, I rolled an extra d6. Yeah, there's a +1 d4 damage on the throwing star that I missed there.
Oh,
Okay.
right, because of your ability.
Yeah. Well, that didn't add anything. 31.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, no, that's included already. 31.
31 what?
Bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, you definitely cracked this thing. Now you have its attention. And the girl as well. You see the two green eyes beam over to where this massive rock shuriken came flying from.
Beautiful. And I believe I also, as Andrew, I have the aggressive action from being an orc, so I'm going to then run up to where my rock is on the ground. And how high above the ground is this bat right now?
The bat is on the ground.
The bat is on the ground. Perfect.
It literally rolled back to this little girl, and she has just climbed onto its back.
So I'm then going to use my extra attack to pick up that same boulder and crack it in the head in one big, action, like just grabbing it and smashing it in the face, like from the chin up.
Excellent. Roll that attack.
Oh, that's much better. 28.
That will hit. And I'm sorry, did you say you were hitting the girl or the bat?
The bat.
Okay, great.
Again.
No sneak attack on this one, though.
Yeah, but I still get the +1 d4 on this. Yep. Oh, 9 damage.
Wonderful. So you can see my pointer. That's Andrew. That's the baddie. That's a zombie. It is weird. My camera is inverted. So looking on the screen, everything's backwards and what's right next to me. So I have to make sure.
It looks good, though.
Okay, next we have Sir Dellum Rook. You are now whole once again.
Yes, and since this is the first time he's been seen in the prime material plane, he looks slightly different from when our audience may have last, air quotes, seen him. In the Shadowfell, the full curse upon Shatterkai is apparent to all, and he looks exactly his age, all 950 some odd years. That sort of thing doesn't apply in the prime material plane, and Shatterkai all look like elves in their prime. Specifically, he looks kind of somewhere between, Celeborn from Lord of the Rings, maybe with a little bit of Trevor Lawrence, like just, long, blonde, gorgeous hair, and, relatively youthful elven appearance. He still, however, sounds exactly like himself. So, This is what we're doing today. Fair enough. Let's see, and we're gonna start with as a. Oh, which one do we want to use? I've only been thinking about this for several turns and still haven't been able to pick the right one out. But yeah, we're going to. Let's see, spells, and that is a bonus action, correct? Yes, it is. Okay, we are going to place a hex upon the main target, the girl. So we'll cast Hex as a bonus action. Let's see, do I have to declare?
You have to declare the ability score you are hexing.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have to call it Relentless or Maddening, but that's something I use later on it. So yeah, we're going to put this on Intelligence. I'm going to assume that this is a caster, and then maybe it's right and maybe it isn't. You know what, it doesn't really matter to me. We're going to call this the Intex.
Now remember, we fucked up with the ruling of Hex. It doesn't actually affect saving throws or anything like that. That's why I had to make up an Eldritch Invocation for Felix to have it affect saves. This only affects ability checks. No, normally.
And Sir Delamrook is going to walk, let's see, we're going to call that about 5, 10, maybe 15 feet diagonally forward and to his left, putting himself, about halfway,
There.
About 10 feet further to the left of that. So pretty much right dead center of the action there. Yeah.
Yep. You're aiming
Good.
right at her.
That looks good. So that kind of movement, and I'm in a nice central visible place, befitting a heavy plate armored tank as I am. And let's see, I can cast a cantrip in a leveled spell, correct? That's how it works, I believe. Yeah, we're just gonna Eldritch Blast.
Right on.
And as a level 12, I want to say I get 3 of those. And shooting +7. Let's see, we've got a 2 + 7. That's a 9 against armor class against the girl.
That does not hit.
That won't ever do it. But hey, we got to do our due diligence. A 19 against AC.
The 19 hits.
And then also a 14 against AC.
14 will not.
All right, so that is 1d10, and that gives us a whole 2 force damage.
Okay. And the hex was on what ability again?
That is against Int.
Okay.
You did hit her though, so you get the extra necrotic damage from the
Yes,
hex.
it's 1d6 necrotic.
Yeah, there it is. Sorry, this spell book isn't exactly the same as I'm used to here on Roll20, so I missed some things. Let's see. Oh, that's the full 6 off of that at least.
Cool. Let's see. Surprisingly, not
resistances?
immune to necrotic. It could be just because of her nature. She is a vengeful spirit, and the body is still technically animated. So I'm reskinning something, and as much as I want to call it undead, she is not immune to necrotic.
Interesting. Cool.
All right, that's
All right,
Sir
yeah,
Dellum.
that's my action economy. Yep.
Okay, Liger.
All right, Liger thinks this thing looks really, really delicious. He really wants to just start eating it. But it's big, so obviously he's going to, as a Berserker Barbarian, go into Rage mode to help his efforts. And, again, as a Berserker Barbarian, he's going to use Intimidating Presence. He's going to take out his extra large bib to prepare himself for this meal.
Is there anything written on the bib?
Tie it around his neck. It says anything at all, because that's what he eats. I don't know. Wait, what should be on the bib?
I mean, it could be
It
just,
just says no.
everything is food.
No. On the bib, it says the word "you."
I like the bib that says "Pobody's Nerfect."
Nobody's nerfed.
I'm always a fan of that one.
That was great.
Wait, what
Something
is that
from-
a reference to?
Well, it's in an episode of Archer, but it's nobody's perfect is nobody's perfect with a misspell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
I
spoonerism.
think,
Nobody's perfect.
I think that was also one of William Murderface's tattoos.
Probably.
No, the bib just says "you" on it, and
Oh yeah, that is inspired.
He wrote it, right?
With a fork and
Yeah,
knife,
it-
you know.
yeah, with a fork and knife crossed like like a Jolly Roger, and it's written with blood, obviously.
Of course. Of course. Wonderful. And I'm sure it's a little stained around the collar.
Yeah, a little stain.
So you are intimidating presence.
I'm intimidating presence as an action. Frighten one creature in 30 feet for one turn. If it am I within 30 feet?
It looks like you are exactly within 30 feet.
Not quite. You're about 35. You'd have to physically move forward.
I will physically move forward and use intimidating presence.
That's the minimum. I moved you up a little bit.
There we.
So what do I do? Save?
Wisdom save.
Okay. 16 plus 3, 19.
Oh
That sucks. Shit. That's not good.
no. What is this? All right. You had to have an 11, so
Yeah,
fuck.
this little girl passes the save. She's not intimidated by a bugbear.
No, I was trying to intimidate the actual beast.
Oh, the beast?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I still rolled a 16 plus 1, 17. Sorry.
Well, shit.
Keep moving, I'd say. Just move up the rest of the way.
All right. Well, the bib is on,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm in rage mode, and I'm salivating.
Yeah, you can.
So-
you can get right up in front
Watch
of
the
the
fuck
bat.
out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get within eating distance of the bat. I guess.
Very good. All right. Next we have Gobwinkler.
All right. Well, Goblinker has been surveying the battlefield here, and, I just thought I was about to come over here and try to defuse a situation, and now we got another situation. So first, Goblinker is going to start by casting as an action Fly on himself. I'd like to float kind of above. I'd like you to put me behind the cart, or like floating just above
Yeah.
it. So that's about 50 something feet or so, or maybe just around 60.
That works. Yeah, from where you were, that's 60.
Perfect. And then I unfortunately have no good bonus actions to use right now, but I just wanted to position myself. So that's really actually all I'm doing this turn.
Okay. You are airborne and quite
I am
quite
airborne.
exposed. Hondo, we finally reach your turn.
How far am I from the collection of enemies?
Your closest one is about 30 feet away.
Okay. Now, because I have 3 attacks per action, do I have to attack the same creature each time?
Not if they're within 5 feet of each other.
Am I able to hit multiple targets? Can I reach the giant bat thing?
I would say if you move forward, you will be in range of the wing of this bat as it comes down, but you wouldn't be hitting the main body. You would still be hitting a wing. Because that's the enemy in front of you.
Yeah.
And that. So you can
Yeah,
can
you
get-
got you kind of have a zombie between you and the bat.
And I can't hit zombie and then bat twice.
I think you can. I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah. So Hondo again would pull out his vicious greatsword, march over to the zombie, and with a 14 hit the zombie.
Absolutely.
So that's 2d6 plus 4 slashing. And I can re-roll ones. So I'm going to re-roll one of the d6. It's still a 1.
Oh,
So
that's
8,
the worst.
8 damage to the first zombie.
Okay.
And then I will use the other 2 attacks to hack at the wing of the bat creature. Ooh, nat 20!
Wow.
Yeah. All right, so first one's a nat 20, and the second one's a 25.
Oh, both are gonna hit.
So it's 44 total slashing damage. So he kind of hacks at the zombie, doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but then like really hacks into the wing of this bat creature with his vicious greatsword.
And it screeches out in agony as this little girl riding on top of it has to readjust, and she looks down at you with these flaming green eyes. And
Green eyes.
Flaming green eyes.
And that concludes your turn.
I will, as a reaction, just so you're aware, I can use. I'm gonna take the parrying stance.
Okay, so
That's what it
that
is.
can reduce an attack, right? Or reduce damage? or
No, it just gives me +1 to my AC for until the end of my next turn.
Okay. Very good. All right, so we are back at the top of initiative. The bat creature is gushing this black ichor coming from these wounds, and it's steaming in this cool, foggy environment. You still hear the cacophony of all the battle around you, and now these zombies are groaning at you, these transformed elves and humans and dwarves. Some of them armored, some of them are just kind of commoners. They were traveling with the rest of these forces trying to relocate, and you hear General Stonehoof shout from the edge of the chasm, "You must fend them off. Give our forces time to reposition." And then you hear, "Trick or treat, motherfuckers!" as a massive fireball explodes probably 200 feet from you. And through the shadows of the mist and the fog, you can see parts of figures just flying through the air. And you hear that whistling sound as the witches circle over your head. And the little girl riding this now badly injured bat is looking down at Andrew the orc and at Hondo and at Liger. And the wings begin to flap as she pulls back on the hair of this bat. And she says, "Your gods are dead. Soon you will join them." And that's where we're going to end this episode of our Spooktacular Special 2021.
Part 1.
Part 1. And we'll try to make this
I
a
like
two-part.
I like the juxtaposition between the phrase "Your gods are dead, you will join them" and the word "spooktacular." I feel like it's a little underrepresented.
Well, also trick or treat, motherfuckers.
Oh yeah.
Hey, listen, we're doing a lot here. We're touching on a lot of different types of emotional.
Motherfuckers.
Well, this is an honor and a
Love
pleasure to be DMing again. And last time I didn't get to do much combat, so I told myself this time I'll write a little, and we'll see where this combat goes. I promise I won't drag it out. But thank you very much for listening. I will exit this episode by going back around the circle.
Whoa!
Oh, we still.
Whoa!
I'm sorry, I'm getting out of turn here.
Slow your roll, my dude. We have a whole lot of things to say.
I forget the order of operations. Fran, I'll turn it over to you.
Oh, really? I get to do it?
Well,
You want me to do it?
yeah.
I'll do
You
it.
can
do
edit
it.
too.
Hey, listen, everybody out there in radio podcast land. If you like us, you can find us on the internet. We're on such places as Twitter and Instagram. Just look for @HaplessHeroes. We're also on Facebook and Reddit. Look for Hapless Heroes Podcast. But really, truly, if you really want to talk to us or interact with us, those places will actually really just serve to direct you to where we consider our crown jewel of our internet presence, and that is our Discord server, where we are constantly having conversations with our wonderful audience. I think we've actually surpassed over just about 100 listeners at this point. Essentially 100 members of this Discord server who are not us. or any people that like we know from as far as who are part of the show. We're just so grateful to have so many wonderful and amazing people in there just talking about all kinds of things. Your D&D characters asking for advice because you're about to GM a game, or we're talking about things completely outside of the world of D&D but that are just as entertaining. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, we encourage you guys to join us, come be a part of the conversation, and really kind of just continue to make it the lively community that it is. But if you really, really like us, we'd love it if you left us a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice. We're not even sure who lets you leave reviews anymore, but if your podcast service allows you to do so, please, we'd really appreciate it. As far as we know, it really just kind of helps us grow in the rankings, gives more people to listen to the show. Or if you just want to say something nice and we like to acknowledge you, we also have a 5-star channel in our Discord server, and you can also email us at haplessheroes@gmail.com, and we'll read it on air and tell you how much of a 5-star community we think you are. And speaking of which, we actually have a new one. The wonderful and lovely Ten Lusol writes us on Discord saying, there's not really a lot that can be said about this that hasn't already, but I just want to say this podcast has been a fun reintroduction to D&D Let's Play after a few years off. Picked it up just to get familiar with the game again and the flow, and just had to stay for the story and camaraderie from all the players. The fact that Dave and Fran can jointly make a story and pick up where the previous left off while still doing their own thing is inspiring to someone trying to throw a homebrew together. It's become a weekly staple of my work listening, and now I get the tension of cliffhangers and waiting a week for the next episode. The only thing better than the podcast might be the community. Even as a lurker, it feels nice that if you try and enter, and you will be greeted warmly. This podcast and its crew doesn't deserve 5 stars. They deserve the highest of 5 stars. Thank you, Ten Lusol. You're an awesome 5-star human yourself. Now, if you really, really, really like us, you could donate to our Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/haplessheroes, peruse our reward tiers, see if there's anything there that suits you or fits your fancy. It really helps us. Any of the money you donate helps us we just put it back into the show. We pay our hosting costs, we replace faulty equipment as those things come up. It's just been an absolute godsend to have you guys essentially sitting here and supporting the show in the ways that you have. We've been able to really kind of up the quality as much as we possibly can because of your hard-earned donations. So we really, really, really appreciate it.
And if you like us, right now, you like us, Sally Field, and the whole deal, we want you to improve upon the PR of razor blades around this time of year. I think they get a bad rap, and to help that out, we want you to make a new candy that's a little gummy candy. Make them in the shape of gummy razor blades, and they'll be Hapless Heroes brand yummy gummy razor blades. And the mascot on the bag will be an esophagus that's bleeding out, and its catchphrase will be, "This was Fran's idea." No, what?
I wish we could screenshot everyone's face palm the entire time Zach is doing this.
It'll be a bleeding esophagus that is smiling, and it has a little speech bubble, and it says, "This was Fran's idea."
I do not support this. You're a real bastard.
That's all I got. Good night.
You had me at yummy gummy.
Yummy gummy fruity tooty razor blades.
Please, Phil, take us away.
Well, dear listeners, if there wasn't anything scarier than James trying to pronounce thaumaturgy, there you have it. Thank you so much for listening. We do miss our dear friends James and Mike, and they will be joining us in some episodes coming up soon. But for now, I will outro our cast. Starting from my right, we have Nicole playing Andrew the Orc. Shh. And to her right, we have Dave playing Sir Dellenbrook.
Good night, everyone.
To his right, we have Francesco playing Gob Winkler Greasybum.
Goodbye.
And to his right, we have John playing Hondo, the Immortal.
Until next time.
And rounding out our cast, to his right, we have Zach playing Liger Silver Schleuder.
I I do not react well to losing my lunch. I want to eat this thing.
And my name is Phil. Very happily behind the DM seat once again. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye now.
Bye.